We have entered the era where the data, the quality of the data is improving, quality of visual output is improving to the point where, producing the content is no longer the problem. But what it really shines a light on is how important storytelling is around the data that you're presenting. And let me tell you, AI can be so helpful in training you on how to storytell with data. Here are 3 prompts that you should be using to help you be a better data storyteller. The first one is insight extraction. And it goes like this. Here is our customer churn data. Help me extract the 3 most interesting insights and give me 2 or 3 different ways to frame this information for this target audience, your technical audience, your marketers, your customer success, whatever. And that's 1 sentence. It's going to do an analysis. It's going to output something, and that's where your conversation starts. Maybe there is institutional knowledge that you need to add into your prompt to give it that additional context. And then that will really help you form the story around not only what is happening, but also why it's happening and what the potential recommendation needs to be moving forward. And now you're not just handing over a bunch of data or a bunch of scorecards or dashboards. You're really providing the insight that all executives have been dreaming of for years. And you're using AI to do it very quickly. The second sort of prompt that you can be using for data storytelling is around framing bad news. And here's an example. It's like, I need to present a 15% slowdown in growth over our top of funnel. Let's just use that as an example, right? Help me frame the context, the comparisons to benchmark or our competitors, include information on the macro and micro landscape and economic conditions of our target audience, and pull this together into 2 or 3 actionable recommendations that we can potentially move forward with as initial tests. And so what you're doing is you're taking this 1 data point and you're saying, I need to understand the story around why this is potentially happening at the broader level. I can then input my institutional knowledge, it's going to be really important, on why it's happening at the micro level. And then we can take those pieces of information and we can build a story around what we want to do about it. The third prompt, which I really like and use this quite often, is sort of using AI to build your narrative arc. Now, every story that you tell has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And that narrative arc, without sort of the variation and elevation, can get kind of boring in a presentation, especially if everyone's on Zoom. Like, you're going to get people tuning out right away. And this is not to say that you have to make data exciting, but the more engaged that your meeting attendees are in this conversation, in your presentation, the easier it will be to take what you've said, commit it to memory, and then use that to have a forward conversation instead of revisiting data points and justifying information and all of that kind of stuff. And so, your narrative arc is basically taking a set of outputs that you've already gotten, or a set of data points or dashboards that you already have, and say, help me turn this data into a narrative arc. What the setup is, where the tension resides, and what the potential resolution and outputs are. So I can use this in a presentation conversation, driving the story of, what we want to do as a move forward strategy. And your AI is going to, take all of those inputs and then take the prompt instruction of building a narrative arc and look for where there are opportunities to have inflections and to really focus, where it might make more sense to elevate, where you are in the conversation, where it might make sense to dig down into a specific data point. And that helps you really drive the conversation, helps you lead the conversation better with sort of a defined arc. If you found this video useful, please give it a like or a share or a comment. It really goes a long way in getting the word out and getting this in front of more people. My name is Annie Tsai. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Interact. I'm really passionate about making AI more accessible and exciting and also, frankly, more useful for more people out there. So let's do that together.